Hey everybody, it's Dave Juno, the Meniere's Disease Warrior. How y'all doing? I'm doing okay for we're being in the middle of a storm, but I'm okay. I had a good weekend. I hope you all did too. So today I want to talk about misinformation, okay? Because in the Meniere's fit group, they have groups and call it Meniere's family, a community, Meniere's community. There's always a lot of misinformation that goes around. Now I don't know it all, and I'll be the first one to admit it. I don't. And when I've made a video and somebody's pointed out that been wrong, I've made another video saying I was wrong. Okay? So I'm one of those guys who don't sit there and, no, I'm right, I'm right, I'm right, I'm right. No. Somebody points out that I made a mistake, I will look up and see if I did make a mistake. And if I did make a mistake and I realize I did, I will make another video saying I made a mistake. Okay? But there's a lot of misinformation going on out there. First off, I'm trying to tell you guys, Ebselen is not coming out until at least 2025. So right now that's 2 years. It's in its third clinical trial. I think it's great that it's helping a lot of people so far, but there's also a lot of people that it isn't helping too. And to be honest with you, guys, people who are in the clinical testing, I don't think you're supposed to be posting about it and talking about it, because what that does is it causes a frenzy. And what happens is people find out about it and they start making phone calls to their doctors looking for it, bombarding the FDA, bombarding the pharmaceutical company who came up with it, and it causes a lot of problems. So if you sign papers to be in a clinical trial, look up and see if you're supposed to be talking about it on, talking about it to the media, social media, because I don't think you're supposed to. I know you're definitely not supposed to be talking about it to the media. And just a little forewarning for those who are talking about it, don't be surprised if you might get kicked out of the clinical trial, because it wouldn't surprise me if they have people in groups monitoring to see if people are talking about Ebselen, because like people who are in a clinical trial talking about it, it does make sense. It's their product. They want to make sure it gets out. And if it keeps getting delayed because people are talking about it in groups, that's probably why it's taken so long for it to come out. Okay? So you might want to hold back on that. But the other thing too is, like, if you find something that works for you about Meniere's disease, say, hey, this is what works for me. I realized with the sound was a trigger. So I put cotton balls in my ears, and it helps a lot. Don't tell people that that's a cure. It's not. You found your trigger. Okay? And finding triggers is great. But when you say you have a cure for Meniere's disease, and you make a post that's not being responsible, like saying, I found a cure for Meniere's disease, message me and I'll tell you. First off, you're misleading people. You are not being responsible, and you're getting people's hopes up high. Because then when they message you, you're gonna tell them, oh, I stick cotton balls in my ears. And you're not telling them the reason why. If you got something that works for you, share it. That's great. But say, hey, I found this works for me. Let's say I found salt as a trigger for me, so I cut out as much salt as I can, and I found this product to replace salt, and it works good for me, so maybe you might want to try it. But don't sit there and say you found a cure and get a whole bunch of people's hopes up high. Because if you go through some of these Facebook groups, there are people that are desperate, that they're looking for Ebselen right now. If you tell them you get a cure, and you tell them you got to put cotton balls in their ears, okay, great. You're going to have 1,000 people putting cotton balls in their ears and still getting vertigo. Guess why? Because that's not a cure. It's how you can prevent it. Prevent a trigger from happening. And that's great that you did that. But you're also you're not being responsible, and you're misleading people. So hey, we all got to work together here, and we can all support each other, and we can all find ways to get around our whatever triggers. My triggers are, I'll say it right now: weather, sound, Domino's Pizza. What else? I probably have other ones. Coffee. If I have more than 2 cups of coffee a day, caffeine will trigger. Sodas trigger me. So yeah, those are kind of like triggers I know about. So yeah, okay, I don't drink soda anymore. I drink salsa water or water. I don't get Domino's Pizza. I don't go for that 3rd cup of coffee. It's things like that. So those aren't cures. Those are what kind of help me not trigger my Meniere's. So be responsible. Okay, we make a post, be responsible. I mean, I'm not talking about posts of, hey, what do you guys do for this, or what do you guys do for that? What do you do for nausea? What do you do for vertigo? I'm talking about these posts where people say, oh, I found a cure. And they don't really say what it is. And basically, you're being just like the Dr. Dingleballs. Dr. Dingleballs, who, I get a cure for everything. No, these are just some things that there's no cure for. Okay? And they're, Meniere's is hard. And it's the hardest thing in the disease, I believe, that won't kill you. But there are plenty of other ones out there that are similar to Meniere's disease. Not similar in a way, but that are life sentences. Parkinson's is one. And people can get Parkinson's at any age. It doesn't need to be, it's not something that old people just get. It usually doesn't get diagnosed till they're older, but young people can get it too. Huntington's disease, that's a life sentence too. ALS, that's a life sentence. Meniere's isn't a life sentence. You have to find a different way of living, okay? So one thing is, stop acting like it's a life sentence. You're not dying from it, okay? You just have to find your triggers and find a different way of living. And on that note, I'm going to end the video. There are better days coming. And hey, have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.